Technology consultancy. We're the architects of digital dreams, building worlds with innovative schemes. From concept to creation, we excel. With technology, our stories to tell. Training tutorials, knowledge we share. To help you succeed, we truly care. Consultancy experts, we're here to guide your digital journey side by side. Technology consultancy, that's our name. Solving problems, raising the game. Websites, systems designs we create. Empowering businesses, sealing their fate. Technology consultancy, that's our name. Solving problems, raising the game. Websites, system designs we create. Empowering businesses, sealing their fate.
We want to have the enter sign, the enter. This is enter key on the keyboard. This is enter. And then we want to delete anything. This is the backspace key. We use it to delete. Now, let's move on. Let's say this in this scenario we have a few items here that we want to perform calculation to. We have few. Let's take this as a case study. Maybe we have countries, or we have countries. This is Liberia. This is Ghana, Nigeria, Togo, Benin, France, and this is Spain. This is USA. Okay, and this is another country again. This is Ivory Coast. So guys, like we see, Ivory Coast now has overlap in this cell, so we have to adjust this column A to make sure that it fits into this cell alone. So you bring your mouse pointer on this line, the line that is between. You click here and you adjust it on the side. You click and drag. That is it. So this is the country, and then we want to calculate the number of male and the number of female. Then forward, put total, or put total here. Now, so let's assume we just type in random number, taking into consideration these are the number of male and female in these countries. Or let me just use two numbers so that we can get a concept right fully and very easily, so that it can be easy to understand. Then once we are able to go, we can use bigger numbers. Okay, now here, this is it. Okay, now we want to find the total of these two. We want to calculate the total number of male and female in Liberia. Now, in this cell, in Excel, before you start calculation, you need to begin with the equal sign. The equal sign tells Excel that you are about to type in a formula. Now, we've already know this is the equal sign on the keyboard. It's on plus key at the same time. So you make this cell active because this is what we want to put the answer. And we are adding these two numbers firstly. Now, to add the two numbers, you firstly type the equal sign. The equal sign will tell Excel that you are about to type in a formula. So we say equal. You can use the 4 arrow keys to move to this cell, the 56. So we say equal 56. You go on the 56, and then you say plus. To get a plus key, you got to hold the shift key downward, hold shift and press plus, and then you go to the next cell using this left arrow key, So now, as you are saying equal 56 plus 78, you will not see the number 56 and 78 in this cell. You rather going to see the cell reference. The cell reference means the name of the cell. So this explanation here telling you that we are trying to calculate the value in cell B2 plus the value in cell C2. So if you have done that, you just click on this check mark here to enter, or you hit the enter key. You will have that. So let's try the next one again. You hold down the shift key and say equal. Sorry, you're not holding shift key, you just say equal. Use the left arrow key to go here, and then you hold the shift key and say plus. Use the left arrow key again to go there and say hit the enter key on the keyboard. Then we have that. So that's how we do that. So you say equal, you go on the first number, plus on the second number, hit enter key. So that's how we perform addition. So let's take, for example, maybe we have 200 plus countries in the world, or maybe more than that we want to calculate. And then doing that manually one after another will take time. So you need to do something faster that will speed it up. So once we already perform this calculation, this or C or B2 plus C2, and we have the answer here, we have something we call or autofill, or to fill the series. So we know that we want to add all of these numbers. If you look at the selection here at the lower right hand corner of this selection, in this cell we have the answer. We have a black dot. This black dot that we have here, when you point to it, when you point to this black dot, it will change into a thin black cross. It will change into a thin black cross. So when you click and drag it down to the end and leave it, you will have the answers of all of those vacant spaces, meaning you have filled it down. So to verify that those ones are correct, you just hit Control Control is this key on the keyboard to verify it. This key on the keyboard is called tutor. This key is called tutor before number 1. So when you press Control tutor, meaning your finger should remain on Control key and press tutor, you're going to see all of the steps that you used to follow in all of these cells. So here it tells you that for this one we added B3 plus C3, B4 plus C4. So once you hit Control tutor again, you're going to have those numbers. So let me do that again. If you point here on the fill handle, this black dot is called a fill handle. You click and drag it downward to the end, you will have all of those answers visible there. Or maybe you have a long list that you are able to drag it downward to the end. You can just point here on the fill handle and double click. Once you double click, you want to fill it down to the series. All of those series going to be filled. So when you hit Control tutor, you still see the steps in the cell. Hit Control tutor to go back there. So that's how we perform the addition calculation. So let's do that. Let's delete that. On the home tab in the editing group, there's a command here called clear. You click the drop down arrow and click clear all. It delete everything from that cell. Now let's do for multiplication. So the same way we perform addition, we do that for multiplication as well. So you select the cell where you want the answer to go, and then for multiplication we say we have the multiplication sign, which is necessary on the number 8 key, but you got to hold down the shift key before you get that. So we say in Excel, before you perform calculation, you start with the equal sign. Okay, Chief, can you do it one at a time? Okay, so let's move on to multiplication. So we say before you perform calculation again, you have to hit the equal sign. You say equal. Want to use multiplication now. This first number, the male for Liberia, we say this times you got to hold the shift key and press the number 8 key. You get a star sign. This sign means multiplication times or this cell, and you hit enter or you click the check mark right here and enter. You have that. So to do it for the next one, we say equal this, hold down the shift key and press number 8 to get a star times this and hit the enter key. Enter. You have that. One more time again, let's do it. We say equal this cell, hold down the shift key times this cell and hit the enter key. You get that. So that's how we do for the multiplication. So the same thing can be done if you have many numbers you are dealing with and you want to fill the series down because of time and to save your energy. Before doing that, you have to make sure that the first answer you have here is correct. You also have to make sure that what you have type is what you want to fill down, because mind you, if you make mistake in this first calculation, all of what you are going to be doing will be wrong. Let me go here quickly. Okay, William, for your question, this is the keyboard. This key that is here, this key that is right before number 1 here, this key is what we call tudor. It has two signs on it. The first sign that is in the up, that is above, sorry, that is above the key here, that look like or maybe a snake, is called accent graph. This one that look like or apostrophe, or how you call that, or maybe quotation, is called total. So I said, if you have, like we have this information in this cell and want to show the steps to view it, you need to hold down this control key, meaning press control. Your finger should remain on control key and press total, this key. So once you press control total, you will see all of the steps that you use with display. Control total. Our brother Ben said I was running a bit faster, so let me do that again. So for the calculation, or Abbott, is it something you want to say? If you are not speaking, Abbott, please. Is it Abbottine or Abbottine, please? Or if you want to say something, you come up quickly, or you mute yourself, please. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you very much. So let me be a bit slower, like my brother said I was running. So what I'm saying is, if you want to perform a calculation in Excel, you firstly begin with the equal sign, meaning you should type equal sign in the cell or to where you want the answer to go. That equal sign you will type will tell Excel that you are about to type in a formula or you are about to perform calculation. That's what the equal sign does. So we want to perform multiplication, meaning multiply these two numbers, 56 for the male of Liberia and the female of Liberia. We want to multiply the two. So to do that, you have that. Let's do it again. We say equal, left arrow key to go on this 56, which is the male, and then multiplication sign, you hold down the shift key, press number 8, and go on the female and press enter. So guys, try that. If you get it, please let me know in the chat box by sending the number 1. If you don't, send 0 so I know you follow me. So autofilling is usually done if you have many working with a huge data or huge sum of data. So huge sum of data in the sense that you have maybe 10,000 or million plus, depending the entity you are working with. It might not be addition or it might be maybe all calculation. So you fill a series down to save you time. To save you time. So if you look here, when you select Make sure the first answer you have is correct, and then you point to it. Meaning it should be selected. In the lower right hand corner of it is a black dot. That black dot is called the fill handle. When you point on the fill handle, the mouse pointer will change into a thin black cross. When you point on a thin black cross, you click and drag it downward to the end of where you want that arithmetic to stop. You leave the mouse. To verify that all of these that have been filled down follow the same formula that is in the first cell, you press the key control total, and then it will display all of the formulas you have on your worksheet. This is control total. It tells you multiply B3 by C3, B4 by C4, and so on and so forth. Control total to come by. That's one way to do that. Let me do an undo here. Control Z, hold down control key and press Z. So another way you can do that is to point on the fill handle, which is the thin black dot in the lower right hand corner. After you select the first cell you perform the calculation to, and then you double click. When you double click, you're going to see all of those cells that are in that list filled. So to verify that you press control total, you're going to see the step or the formulas that you use, and then control total to come by. So try that. If you get it, let me know in the chat box by sending the number 1. If you don't, send the number 0. Let me know in the chat box if you have done this, send the number 1. If you didn't, send 0. Okay, guys. Okay. So, what we are saying here is this. In the lower right hand corner here is the fill handle. When you point on this fill handle, which is the thin black cross, you double click. Double click means press the mouse button on your left 2 times. You're going to have that. Or you point to it when the cell pointer change to thin black cross, you click and drag it down to the end. You're going to have that. So thank you. Let's proceed. Thank you, guys. Thank you for following. Let's proceed. So we're going to do that for division. So division, we do the same thing. Only the sign going to change. Say equal. We go on this first cell. This is the division sign. Right after period. On the same key, we have question mark. So divided by this key and hit enter. We do the same thing again. Equal. You go, this is the first number, this number, you click on the division sign, divided by this number, and hit enter. That's how we perform the division. So guys, if you have done that, let me know in the chat box by sending the number 1. If you haven't, send 0 so that I know you follow it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's continue. Let's continue. So we do the same thing for subtraction. The same thing can be done for subtraction. Equal this first cell, subtraction, the sign is after 0, minus this cell, and you hit enter. The same thing here. Equal 56. The subtraction sign is after 0, that sign, the next cell, and enter. You have it there. That's how we perform subtraction. So guys, if you have done it, let me know in the chat box by sending the number 1. If you haven't, send 0 so that I know you follow it. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for following. So now the next thing we want to move on to is how to insert a sheet and how to delete a sheet in a whitebook. Now, if you look here, I have sheet 1, sheet 2, and sheet 3. You can have many sheets, as many as you want to. So you would now see here, there's a screen here, or depending the office version you're using, you might have plus. You click on it, you have a new sheet. As you click, the more you click, the more sheet going to be inserted. So as you click, you see sheet 3, sheet 4, sheet 5, sheet 6. The more you click, the more sheets you have. So that's how you insert a new sheet. To delete the sheet, you need to right click on the sheet you want to delete on that same number to where you have the sheet 1, the sheet tab, because this area is called the sheet tab. I'm right clicking on sheet 4, it will give you option. You want to see delete, you click on delete. And mind you, when you delete a sheet, it cannot come back. When you have information on that sheet, you got to verify that you are deleting that sheet because you cannot undo it. So to delete a sheet, you right click on the sheet you want to delete, on the name of the sheet, and click on delete. It will move from there. So start that and let me know in the chat box if you have done it. Let me know when one if you've done it, zero if you haven't. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you very much. So someone says zero. So we have the last, or depending the office version you are using, you might have plus, but normally it's a screen with a star near it after the last sheet down here. If you see my mouse pointer down here, so you click that and you have a new sheet inserted. The more you click, the more sheet going to be added. You want to delete it, you right click and click on delete. Right click on the sheet you want to delete and click on delete. If you want to delete, you have to be careful because when you delete a sheet, you cannot undo it or you cannot bring it back. That's how you delete a sheet. The next thing we want to talk about, we can rename a sheet. Rename a sheet means to change the name on the sheet, like you have sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. To rename a sheet, right click on the sheet you want to rename. We rename a sheet to give the sheet identity. For example, maybe you have, or you are a teacher and you have class list, class attendance, class membership. Depending the information you have on the sheet, that's the name you get the sheet so that you can identify it. So you right click on, for example, sheet 1, click rename and type attendance, attendance, attendance. Then you hit enter on the keyboard. You move to the next sheet and you click on rename, type quiz, QURZ. Hit enter. You move to the next sheet, rename and type Excel. Hit enter. That's how you rename a sheet. Just right click on the sheet you want to rename, where you have sheet 1, sheet 2, or sheet 3. Click on rename, type the name you want to name the sheet, then you hit the enter key or click in a cell. If you have done that, let me know in the chat box by saying number 1 or 0 if you haven't done it. Thank you guys, thank you. So that's how rename a sheet. You can also give a sheet type color, meaning color the sheet, give the sheet a color that will enable you to identify it. For example, attendance sheet, you want to give it the color red so that you can identify it anytime you see red. So you right click on the name of the sheet you want to add a color to, and then you move to tab color, and then you choose your favorite color right here. Right click on the next sheet, move to tab color, and give your favorite color right here. Maybe it can be different color that you will see and identify the name of the sheet or the document you have saved on that sheet. All what we are doing here is being recorded. We're going to send that in the chat room and on and link in the chat room and upload it on the YouTube channel so that you can go and watch it. Thank you very much. So another thing we can do is we can copy a sheet or duplicate a sheet, meaning we have a sheet in this book that we want to appear 2 times. That's what we call copy. So to copy a sheet, you click on the sheet, hold down the control key, the CTRL key, click on the sheet you want to copy and drag it in the next position. So to copy a sheet, you have to hold down the control key, finger should remain on it, click on the sheet you want to copy, click and drag it to a new location among those other sheets that are existing and leave the control key. You have that sheet. As you click and drag it to a new location, you have that sheet. Click and drag it, holding the control key and leave it, you have that. You got to hold down, click on the sheet, hold it down, press the control key next and drag it. Click on the sheet you want to duplicate. Your finger should remain on the click button. Hold down the control key and drag it. So you can also copy a sheet into another workbook. Remember we said Excel is a workbook. You can copy a sheet into another workbook, meaning you want to take this sheet from this book and send it to another workbook. So to do that, you have to right click on the sheet you want to copy. See the option move or copy, click on move or copy sheet, and then up here you see to book, click right on the drop down arrow under to book, and then you click on new book and select OK. You have a new workbook open with that sheet being displayed. If you point on the taskbar on Excel, you want to see two different workbooks. Now you have book one that you are working in, and then you have book two that you have sent that sheet to. So let's do that again. Meaning we have moved this Excel that we have in this work in that previous book one workbook and send it to a new workbook. That is, we move it from that workbook. We are not copying now, we are moving it. So if you right click on the sheet you want to move to another workbook, you click on move or copy. Under to book, you click there and you will see the list of books that you have there, and then you select where you want it to go. I'm selecting book one, sending it back there and click OK. So please try that. If you have done it, let me know in the chat box that you have done it. There are times you did a work in another workbook and you want to move it to another workbook. For example, you are working with students' grades, and then you want to, in our workbook you have student grades, you have attendance, and you want to move it to another workbook, maybe to have only the student grades in a separate workbook instead of having student grades, student attendance, class participation in the same workbook. So to do that, you right click on the sheet you want to move to another workbook, click on move or copy sheet. In that dialog box that will appear, you will see to book, move selected sheets to book. Under that, the current sheet you are working with or workbook, the name of that workbook will appear under there. When you click there, you see new book, meaning you are moving it into a new workbook. When you click new book and then you click OK, you will have it in a separate workbook, meaning it has left from the previous workbook you are working in. Now is in a separate workbook. That's just what that means. So thank you guys. I think we can call it a day. We are already out of time and we will stop here for today. The playback of today's training will be sent to the YouTube channel so that you can watch it.